Knitworthy podcast, sharing our love of the fiber arts from the heart of the Ozarks. Are you ready now?
I think we're ready.
Okay.
You know I'm going to totally use that first try.
Oh, I already deleted it.
No!
I did.
We had a false start with so many things, so many issues already. With Sophie the dog was barking and asking for a belly rub.
Yes.
And
then my phone rang. And so anyways, it's been interesting, but we are ready now to record. No, we're not. We're not ready. Well, I'm going to start by introducing ourselves. Hello. Welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. Today is September 12th, 2014, and this is episode 15. And my name is Brianne, also known as Being Brianne on RAVELRY Instagram, and this is my gorgeous mother.
Well, hello. I'm Stony Rook. And this is the lovely Sophie, who is the one that you always hear barking and whining. Her brother is the one that is the, he's the model, fashion model, we call him, because he's beautiful. And Sophie, poor thing, his sister, she is the needy one.
She is.
Yeah, they say you pick dogs that are like you, and John picked Huck, and he's like a fashion model and so obedient and does everything just right.
Yeah.
And Sophie, she's got issues, just like me.
She's bossy.
Her.
You're not bossy, but Sophie is bossy.
She has strong needs, and she's not afraid to let you know.
And Huck, if Huck needs something, he looks at you like this.
Yeah. He just looks at you.
That's it. That's how you know he needs something. Maybe if he's been very patient and has waited for a long time, he'll put his paw on you.
Yeah. Even in the middle of the night, I'll wake up thinking, what's going on? And he's staring at me because he wants to go potty or something. So,
oh my goodness.
You know, life with animals. But I love my chihuahuas. They're long-haired chihuahuas. No one has expressed any interest in them, and I'm quite offended.
Well,
I'm not really. But anyway, that is who is apparently needing us this morning. She sat at the bottom of the stairs waiting for me to come pick her up, and I refused to do that. I figured she could walk.
Oh, Sophie.
Anyway, did I say I'm Stony Brook?
Yeah, you said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Brian and I, he likes it because I watched through Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, yeah.
And I always like it, you know, at the end where they resolve with, you know, everybody back, you know, in the command center, and you know, usually it ends with, you know, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, you know, doing something, and I was like, oh, Jean-Luc, you know, he likes it when I do that with random characters now.
Oh, Jean-Luc.
Oh, Jean-Luc, you know. Oh, Sophie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally appropriate.
That has nothing to do with knitting, but still.
We did not plan about talking about any of these things. It's not on the list.
No. But
already,
you know,
we're off topic.
Random things happen before we start to record, and so.
And I want to point out.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, new backdrop. Woohoo!
Happy fall, y'all. It's here. It's coming.
Do you know it's chill? I was gonna say it's chilly today. It's not chilly, but it is not less hot.
Well, I mean, it was like 55 when I sent the kids out on the bus this morning.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm. And
Don't we love it?
Yes, I told them, I'm like, you guys need to wear sweaters today. You know, or, you know, something to help cover up. Because, you know, Ailish is in like a sundress.
Yeah.
You know, 55 degrees out. And I'm like, just a little sweater. And so she goes outside. She goes, oh, it is chilly out here, Mom. Like, I've never checked weather before in my life.
Yeah.
You know.
You have no idea.
No. Obviously, I never think of these things.
Yeah. Well, can I just say before we start, what a lovely job you did last week.
Thank you very much.
I had so much fun editing your dance.
Yes.
Thanks for making her do that. It's my favorite.
And did you know we have 2 more?
We do?
We have 2 more.
Are we reading them, or are we saving that for another episode?
Would you like for me to read them?
You know I would.
Okay. Well, hold on.
I mean, they took the time to leave a review.
They did, and I'm very happy about it, and I will totally do the dance again.
You will?
I will. I said I would.
Wonder what music you'll be dancing to this time.
I have no idea. I don't know, but let me see. Hold on. Another unplanned thing.
We can do this. We can do unplanned.
We do it all the time. Are you kidding me?
Okay, Sophie, how about if you sit there?
That's a good idea, Sophie. Such a good girl.
There you go.
Okay, here we go. Reviews. Okay, this one is from His Handmaid.
Aww.
Who is His Handmaid on Ravelry, and her title is I Love It. She said, I am writing this review so I can see Brianne dance again. That is, I'm not even kidding you, the first line. Seriously though, this is a must-see podcast. The hostesses are talented, beautiful, and personable. Thank you.
Yes.
Such a warm, cozy, and entertaining podcast. One of my favorites.
Yay!
Thank you so much. And then this one is by, on Ravelry, she's Julie R. Knits. I love it when you guys put your Ravelry names on there.
That is nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that so we know who you are. And this is Watchworthy Totally. Mother-daughter team that is amazing together. They are very fun and informative. I have learned so much and simply just love them both. The bluegrass music that is played at the end is awesome. I'm glad you like that. That's all, yes. Mom. Let's all that together.
And the bluegrass music is played by my son's girlfriend, her family, and they have like a family music night when they can. They're kind of busy now, but
there you go.
And they play beautiful bluegrass music.
Isn't that
Wouldn't
fun?
That be fun?
Yes.
Makes you want to take up an instrument, doesn't it?
It does. You know what though? I'm gonna dance.
You are?
I am. You ready now?
Hit it! Hit it! Hit it! Shin shin. I love that.
There you go. That is the iTunes review dance for today. Who knows what it'll look like next time? Maybe it'll be different every time.
I think next time you should include pom-poms.
Oh, I should. I would need to get some pom-poms for one thing.
Well, you have yarn. Hello.
I do.
That'd be a great use for certain yarns that we don't care for.
That's true. Get those out of the stash?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Mom, what is that beautiful shawl that you're wearing?
Well, I may need help with reading things because I have to say our internet, again, the whole neighborhood's been out.
And not even just the neighborhood. It's been, I've heard it's further. Yeah.
Even McDonald's didn't have Wi-Fi, we heard.
Hello. It's serious, people.
Yes. And so I've tried to do things on my little screen on my phone, but it's so hard for me to see it. And I was trying to get project information and stuff, and it's like it kept disappearing. What the heck? So I will try to remember. But this was a crocheted shawl, and I'm telling you, it is one of my favorites, and somehow it got buried under something.
That's
sad. Because I thought I had put all my shawls out, and then all of a sudden I remembered, wait, what happened to that shawl?
Oh.
And so this actually, what color would you say this is, Brianne?
You know, it's not showing up very well right there. It's really kind of like a golden color, like a beautiful golden, but with like a little bit of brown to it.
And do you know what they call it in their colorway name?
No.
It's called olive green.
That is not olive green. I mean,
you can see a little bit of the golden now here in this bend of my arm, and you can see some of the green. But really, in person, it comes off as more gold.
It does. I can't believe that would be olive green. I've never seen olive green that looks like that.
It's some sort of a silky thing. Can you tell me?
An Alchemy Yarn silk purse.
Yes. This was from that really fancy...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. It was before we went on the trip we went to, is it Loops?
Oh, yes.
Remember that?
In Oklahoma. No, in Tulsa.
Tulsa. Which is in Oklahoma.
It is.
What a shock.
I was going to say Oklahoma City, but no, it was in Tulsa.
And so I got this beautiful silk yarn and had lots of plans for it, and they weren't working out. And then I saw this shawl pattern called Simply Scallops, and it is really a fun knit. And so special. And this is a good example of what happens when you use really beautiful yarns in crochet. Some people think like crochet is just for an Afghan or something.
Yeah, like you can only do granny squares.
Right.
Or the dolls that cover up toilet paper rolls in a bathroom.
Yeah. If you have one, enjoy it.
Absolutely.
It would be very kitschy now to have that.
But it's not the only thing that you can do with crochet.
It's not the only thing you can do. And so this done in silk was supposed to be, okay, this is the shame. I should be a shame on me section.
Why?
Because I actually bought the yarn for my mom.
Oh.
And I was going to make her a scarf, and that particular year you made her a scarf.
Oh, that's true.
And then, so I decided to keep it, of course, because that's what I do.
It's silk. Don't judge her.
Don't judge until you felt the silk.
That's right.
And it occurred to me that I have never seen my mom wear one of the scarves I've made her.
No.
And so I just decided, you know what, that's okay. I'll get her something that she really appreciates. I think I got her coffee, a whole bunch of those Keurig things instead. And she loved it.
Yeah, and she never splurges to buy the little K-cups for herself. So
You know what I found her doing?
What?
She would take Folger's coffee and put it in the K-cup that she had used and put foil over it because she wanted to reuse them. I mean, it is a solution.
That is definitely a solution.
But I love this yarn, Alchemy Yarns. These Simply Scallops is by, I can see this one, Christy Ashmore. And this pattern, I think it might even be free.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so it is one, if you're a crocheter, I would highly recommend it for a lovely yarn that you love. And it would be fabulous for a gift because crochet seems to always be a quicker...
I agree.
A quicker project.
Yes.
I suppose if you're using the teeny tiny yarn, it can take a lot longer, but hello silk.
What's not to love about that?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing a shawl that's called Nae, N-A-E, and it's by Annette Rodin. And I found this pattern on Ravelry a while back, and I actually knit this in 2012, so it's been in my closet for a while, but I'll take it off and show it to you.
And this is actually alpaca from a local
Morningstar Farms.
Morningstar Farms. Yeah, they are in Missouri, and they actually have very lovely. I did my pink alpaca Saroyan.
Oh yeah.
Out of that.
Oh yeah.
Which I have sent off to a lovely friend who fell in love with it, and the wonderful I'm already off on stories.
Okay, that's okay.
But the wonderful story about it was she had told me a long time ago that she loved it. I decided to send it to her, and I did not know that I was sending it to her when her brother had died.
Yeah, it was like that same week.
She got it the day she got home from the funeral.
Oh, how nice is that?
So don't you think the Lord just used that to bless her? Because I had forgotten all about it, and all of a sudden she came to mind.
That's
and I
wonderful.
thought, I don't think I ever did that, and I sent it and it arrived that day.
How neat!
Isn't that neat?
Goodness.
So I'm so happy.
That was very sweet of you to send that to her. I mean, not just because her brother had passed away, but just as a friend. That was very generous of you.
I had no idea it was going to be useful in that way. So it made me feel good.
How neat!
That's a good thing, right?
That's very nice. I feel bad going back to my Nae now. I'm not sending this to anyone. Sorry. It's just a simple triangular shawl. It's fairly large. Over here, I don't know. It's big.
Boy, does it feel fabulous.
Alpaca's not my favorite. You all know that about me. But what I did was...
Normal people would say, wow, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
But you just have a thing with alpaca.
I do.
On your skin. Your skin is sensitive to it.
For some reason.
Hair.
But I can wear wool and I'm fine. So I don't understand. I don't get it. But this is actually knit side to side.
Oh, is it?
And so you start at a corner at one of your edges.
Nay, you start at the corner instead of the center.
That's true. Yes. And
I was trying so hard to find a way to work nay into the conversation.
And you did it. And there's all along the top here, from here down to here, this is all seat stitch. And, I do like this shawl. I just, I wouldn't wear it with a tank top. I probably wouldn't really wear it with a tank top anyways. Because that's a really interesting fashion statement.
Yes.
Unless you're doing a knitting podcast.
A string bikini and an alpaca shawl.
Of course. It only makes sense. So anyways, I do like this shawl. I ended up giving it a bath in hair conditioner a while back when I first had finished it, hoping that it would be softer. But I have interesting memories of the shawl because I actually knit it while Owen was in the hospital in September of 2012. And he was in the hospital for 8 days because of immune system issues. And you know, we were just kind of waiting for his immune system to bounce back and not wanting him to be exposed to, you know, any germs while he was in such a compromised position. So this is what I would knit on at night while I was waiting for, you know, like shift changes and, you know, his meds to come in. And you know, I would usually, that was like my quiet time. Not that there's ever really a whole lot of quiet time in the hospital, but on a peds ward, there is more than, you know, like in a regular area. But so it brings back fun memories of talking to nurses and you know, just being quiet, and I would listen to podcasts and
so does it feel peaceful to you?
It does feel peaceful. I think it's the first thing that I knit in a hospital that has ever felt, like as far as when Owen was sick, that felt really peaceful to me. Like the socks that I knit when Owen was first diagnosed in the hospital for like 17 days, I couldn't ever wear those because they didn't feel good to me. Every time I looked at them, I felt so sad and I felt really conflicted, and it didn't bring back good memories. But this makes me feel happy, and you know, because he was really happy during that time. So
yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
I do have to say that if your child has to be in the hospital, children's hospital is the place to be, because they care for more than just your physical body.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, they bring around therapy dogs, and they
so
have
fun.
Toys. They do like games over the hospital television system, so you can play bingo with other patients, and then they have prizes for it. So I mean, it's really, they try and add some fun to the experience so that the kids aren't just...
And they have resources for parents too. Like the Ronald McDonald room is amazing.
Oh my goodness, it's like a house inside the hospital.
Oh yeah, they have like a full-on kitchen, and they have you know, really nice showers for the parents, and this lounge area that is so beautiful. And you walk in and you just go, oh.
I think they like make cookies too, don't they? And
you remember
coffee
the first time that we ever went in there, and we just felt so exhausted, and they had just pulled out a fresh batch of chocolate chip cookies from the oven, and she was like, would you like a cookie?
It was like the heavens opened up.
I know. It's true.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's talk about gooseberries.
Okay.
Gooseberries, that's our tasty little chit-chat of the week. Not that we haven't been chit-chatting already.
Yeah,
but
we're good at that.
We really are. It's like a special gifting.
So many gooseberries this week.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice when there's a lot to choose from? But my favorite one, I don't know. Perhaps you might want to guess what my favorite gooseberry was this week. Why do I get it so low all the time? There. It's hard to tell from this picture how delicious this is.
And I wish you could see Mom's beautiful china.
Oh yes. It's Old Country Roses.
That's a little bit better.
And I don't know, at some point I had... I got this gold silverware. It's not real gold, people. If I had gold silverware, I would have cashed it in by now. But you know, when you have family gatherings, it's nice to have enough silverware. And they had a really good deal on, I think it was like QVC or something, had this special for the holidays.
Well, and don't you just feel fancy?
So Why, yes, I do.
She does feel fancy.
And this is... I love having a sister-in-law that is the homemaker extraordinaire.
Yes.
My sister-in-law, Ruth Ann, again, Sugar Pie Farmhouse. She is getting together. She's doing these really cool videos where she actually shows people how to do what she does.
Yeah.
And, of course, one of the things she does is make delicious things. And do you see all the pecans on top of here? I mean, it's a little overexposed, so you just have to imagine it's pumpkin-y goodness. And Brianne, can you read the name?
Okay.
Because I'm going to be a little bit busy.
This is called the Butter Crunch Pumpkin Pie Bars. And there's a recipe and video demonstration that will be available in early October on sugarpiefarmhouse.com. The fall ebook is now available on her website in the general store area, and it's 96 full color pages of fall wonderness. How on earth are you allowed to eat that and I don't even get a bite? That is, well, I'm sick. You don't want to give me a bite.
You sure?
Yeah.
Take it with your finger.
No, it's, oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Okay. What I love about this, the bottom part is like the best part of pumpkin pie, but it doesn't have the texture of some pumpkin pies. It is so soft and light as a feather.
It is.
I taste butter somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
There's delicious buttery. Mm-hmm. And there is like some sort of a, I can't even describe, light and airy and delicious with these crunchy toasted pecans on top.
Yes.
And so I'm sure I'm going to tell you what I didn't do. I didn't eat some every day for lunch and then pretend like I hadn't had any so I could have a little bit more later.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I didn't do that.
No. Mm-mm. No. And I didn't eat some for breakfast one day. No.
Yeah.
That would just not be good.
Is pumpkin a vegetable?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I am being so healthy by eating a little
We're
bits
like
of that.
another bite. One more bite to go.
Yeah, one more bite to go. Okay. So good. You need to check that out. Because
yeah, I'm telling you, anything that Ruth Ann makes, you definitely want to try it if it's in your abilities to make it. And she tells me this is super simple.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like it'd be extremely hard. But Ruth Ann makes things look easy. Mm-hmm. But if she tells you that something is doable, then it's doable.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I would say, even if you are not a pumpkin pie fan, you very possibly could love this.
That's true.
This doesn't have, some people don't like the textural issue.
Yes.
Of the pumpkin, and I don't think this would give people that textural issue.
No. Mm-hmm. And it's not like in your face pumpkin-y. I think that's part of what I like. Because, like, confession. I'm not a really big, pumpkin-y kind of person.
What?
Like, I don't really care for pumpkin pie.
I love pumpkin pie.
I don't really care for, like, pumpkin spice things.
Keep going.
Okay. I don't really care for, like, pumpkin spice things at Starbucks. Like, like some people have, big celebrations and they go out the very first day pumpkin spice lattes are available. No.
I'm that way for eggnog latte. But I usually try to only have one a season because those got a lot of calories.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. But yeah, so anyways, I really enjoyed that. That was so delicious.
My grandmother, Naomi, the one that people called No-No.
Yes.
That was a name that a little kid gave her and it just stuck. And she made pumpkin pie and I loved hers. Mm-hmm. And I know Ruth Ann can make it.
Yeah.
But it had on the bottom, it had a layer of this pumpkin and brown sugar mixture. Mm-hmm. So it reminds me a lot of my grandma.
That's nice.
So thank you, Ruth Ann. Feel free to have me test any of your recipes.
Yes.
Anytime.
And we will be happy to share them on the podcast.
Sugar
because
Pie
they're delicious.
Farmhouse.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, Sugar Pie Farmhouse. Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't like it at all.
It's terrible.
I hadn't had breakfast. I thought, pumpkin, vegetable.
Yeah, Well,
this is where this double chin is coming from. All the times when I say pumpkin for breakfast. You'll be able to do a flip book of our selfies and just watch the chin grow.
Oh, no. Oh, I hope not. Well, my gooseberries for the week, we had birthdays this week in my family. Wednesday was Owen's 11th birthday, and I can't believe how big he's getting. Oh my goodness. And so we celebrated his birthday on that day. And then yesterday, Thursday, was Brian's birthday. And so I always tell him, I'm like, I can't top giving you a kid for your birthday. Like, that's really just a once in a lifetime.
Every other
kind of
gift
thing.
just pales in comparison.
Yeah. So what he has the beginnings of like a geeky shirt collection. He has one that uses elements from the periodic table, like their symbols and stuff, to spell bazinga from The Big Bang Theory. And then this year we got him a Harry Potter themed shirt, and it says, "I solemnly swear I'm up to no good," and then on the back it says "mischief managed." So for those of you who like Harry Potter, I bought that on the WB's website.
It's actually a really attractive shirt.
It is. Like, it's not annoying or, I mean, you wouldn't...
It's black with really beautiful writing that goes across, but it looks like if you didn't read it, you wouldn't necessarily know it was a Harry Potter shirt because it doesn't have his space right on there or anything.
Right. And they do have shirts like that, but the other one that I almost got for him was just a circle, and then inside it said 9 3/4, which is a reference to in the train station, in order to get on the train to Hogwarts, you have to use gate 9 3/4. But of course, there is no gate 9 3/4. But you have to like run through this magical pillar. So, anyways, I thought that'd be a fun reference that maybe not everybody would know. Maybe they just think that that's Brian's favorite number. I don't know.
9 3/4.
Yeah,
of course, everyone's favorite number.
Absolutely. So, Mom, why don't you tell us what you're knitting?
All right. Well, our good friends. I like to think of them as our good friends.
Who?
Dawn and James.
Yes.
From Wolf Farms Podcast. Love them. They're such fun people. Wouldn't you love a husband that knits? He does other things too. He also makes really cool crochet hooks. That's not it.
No.
Cable needles.
Yes.
Is that cable needle? Is that the term?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Don't test us on this.
When it comes, I ordered one, so when it comes, you'll get to see it.
Yay!
But they talk about Limb Knit Crochet's rounded toe.
Okay.
And so I got her Rainbow Explosion pattern so I could try the toe. Now, it is not a perfect rendition of it because, how I always get something mixed up, but it's fairly close. But look at it. It is very rounded.
It is.
And it's really not like you have to stand on your head and hold your breath or anything to get it.
Well, that's good.
It is really clear instructions, and I really felt my sock yarn was Rainbow Explosion enough.
So you didn't feel the need to do like a pattern on the leg or foot or anything?
I didn't, and I think Rainbow Explosion actually is meant for a highly variegated yarn anyway, but I felt like learning the toe was enough for this time.
Sure.
But the yarn is Yarn Loft by Julia. I think it's dyed by Julia or something like that. And then it's Wisteria is the colorway, and I love it. I think I showed it before when I got it. So it's knitting up lovely. And it's a nice toe. Do you see?
I do.
What do you think?
I think that is nice. Yeah.
I have not tried it on yet. But I thought I want to get a little further up the foot before I try it on and see how it feels.
Well, sometimes I've tried on, like, if you don't have too much on the foot, then it just kind of, like rolls off of your toe.
Yeah, not really a good example of how it's actually going to fit.
Right.
So, and she's doing, is it Lauren, I think is her name, isn't it? Limb Knit Crochet is the designer. Oh boy. That's this month for them, isn't it?
I don't know.
They do a designer along, and I think it's Limb Knit Crochet's patterns, and you knit any of their patterns, her patterns, and then you can put them on the thread, and you could possibly be selected for a prize. If you're not following them, you really should.
They're a fun podcast.
They are, and in their group, they do anything that you knit can just be put in there. I think they call that one Hatch Along.
Yeah.
And they draw every month. You get like a gift certificate for their shop, and they have great soaps and lotions and things. Their soaps are actually my favorite, I have to say. Yeah. I love their signature scent for their farm, which is like an appley scent. Oh, yeah. Especially for the fall, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Very appropriate.
Love it.
Wonderful. What else are you knitting?
Oh, yes. I'm knitting more than one thing, aren't I?
You usually do.
So anyway, I may have gone a little bit overboard this time.
What? No, not Mom. No. She never would do that.
But I spun up. Okay, let's back up. Let's start at the beginning because...
Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
Very good.
Yes.
So when I went to see Liz at Whirlwind Ranch, she has all those lovely alpacas. I'll pop a picture in of them and get that again. Gratuitous alpaca shots. I mean, come on.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't love those?
Yeah.
I may not prefer their fiber, but they are cute animals.
I just think that someday you'll grow into it.
Maybe.
When you get rhinoceros hide like I have. Oh no, it doesn't take rhinoceros hide. It's the softest baby fiber ever. So what I did was she gave me a sampler of different colors that she had. Now I have to say I processed this myself because that was part of that big bag of stuff. If you watch the earlier episodes, I had come home from a weekend with her of learning how to sort an alpaca fleece. Is it called a fleece? I don't know.
Why wouldn't it?
I don't know. But I don't know if you can see. I still have a few little guard hairs that have gotten in there, so I just decided I'm going to groom it at the end for the things that I missed. But let me find the front of this so I can show you. I am doing, I did a gradient as best I could. I sorted colors and created this gradient of different colors of alpaca fiber. And you know how hard it is to really show good colors when they're really dark like this, but even, well, now you can see it a little bit when it's over my arm. You see how you've got the really dark brown and then you've got the less dark browns. And so the only thing I wish I would have done in creating this gradient, I wish I would have taken these two colors and that I would have combed I did a hand combs for a lot of it. I did some on my little Luette Junior, which makes little bats about this wide. But I wish I would have done intermediate bats to transition these colors. And then I spun them in order. And you see I have some where they popped up a little bit darker. It actually is showing up quite a bit darker on the screen, but in person,
I agree,
it's less noticeable.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it. And so the pattern I'm doing is Molly's from a homespun house.
Okay.
She's an American that lives in Germany. I think her grandma did. She talks about her grandma like she is like an icon in the crafting world. I don't know. I mean to look her up at some point. And she's coming back to visit her, but she's living in Germany with her husband. She's got a little girl. And she has a lovely podcast. She sometimes does she doesn't call them postcards, but she'll do videos of places that she went. And she's a young, cute thing. So she's fun to watch. But she did one called Whispering Pines. And it's a new release of her pattern. And it's hard to see on these darker ones. But I'm wondering, will it show if you know how lace is when
Would you like some help?
Yeah, when you're doing these patterns, they're a little bit more lacy. Hard to show, but the concept is, let's see if I pop it a little bit closer. Do you see these little pearl bumps that are popping up in here? Those represent snow, okay? And then the bottom of the shawl is going to have lace that looks like pines.
Have you started the lace yet?
Did not, because I realized my stitch count was off. I had to add some more rows. I still have like 3 more rows to add. Then my stitch count will be right. You know, kind of important. Then my stitch count will be right, and then I can start doing the lace pattern, which is the trees.
Yes.
But you know what? I am really enjoying it. I mean, that's a lot to knit, don't you think?
That is. Yes.
So,
especially considering that you processed the yarn, you spun the yarn.
Yes, the whole
thing.
thing.
The yarn. That's a lot. That's a lot of work.
I actually washed it too because it was part of the stuff that hadn't been washed yet.
Yeah.
And when I wear it, it will be worn with the brown next to my face and the pines at the bottom. So I think it'll be attractive, don't you?
I think so. Yes.
So I'm loving that pattern. Thank you, Molly. And I wanted to point out that Sylvie Scher, who did these bags for me, or did this one bag, I imagine buying all of hers, but I really bought one. But this is her bag that I thought would be just for socks, but it holds one big ginormous skein of yarn that's about this big around.
Wow.
And my shawl.
That's great.
And so that's how full it is. I would say there's still room for it to grow. So sometimes it's surprising what you can get in these bags.
I agree.
And let's see, the last thing I started And I didn't bring up one of the projects, which was the Elizabeth cardigan that is on alpaca also. No, not alpaca. It's on Diamond Bee Ranch. I think it's Shetland, actually.
Okay.
That's the one I showed you that starts by knitting. Everything has to be like visual, right?
And right in front of my face.
Right here. You start knitting in Brianne's face, but you start at the cuff and you knit up the sleeve, and then you knit across all in one piece. And then the very last thing will be picking up a bazillion stitches around for a collar and a button band. But it doesn't have a button. Yeah, is that a real number?
I'm sure it is. If not, it should be.
But on that one, I made progress. I finished the arm a long time ago, and then I made the progress all the way across to here, and I'm now binding off the stitches that will be the seam that goes under here, and I'll be ready to start the arm. But I was just a little tired of looking at it.
I don't blame you.
You know how it goes when you've just been slogging through something?
Yes.
And you can imagine how long a row is that goes from your hip all the way up over your shoulder and back down the other side. It's a really long row.
Yeah.
I mean, some days I'd only get like a couple.
4 rows done.
She always yawns.
I do. I can't help it. I'm sorry. We're in a lack of sleep period of our lives right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just exhausted all the time.
So I didn't bring up Elizabeth cardigan, but it did get some love. But I got distracted. Oh my word. What is wrong with me? Who needs 2 cardigans on the needles, really? But Amy Beth.
She does.
Amy Beth.
Yeah.
It's her fault. I blame the fat squirrel. It sounds bad, like you're saying something bad about her, but she's so adorable, isn't she?
I love her.
I love her too. So, anyway, she has done a Mama vertebrae. Mama vertebrae is the back of a sweater, 2 sleeves, and then a little portion that goes like down the side. It doesn't come together in the front.
Yeah.
And so basically it's like a layering piece. And I decided I need some layering pieces in my wardrobe because when you make a big, like that Shetland sweater is going to be like a coat when I'm done.
Yeah.
As it is not a, I mean, the way I spun it, it's a hardy fiber. And so, I have one alpaca sweater and that's all I used for a jacket last year. It was that warm.
Yeah.
So I thought, I need to have some layering pieces, and don't you love this color?
Do you know? I have a sweater's worth of yarn. That exact same color.
Are you kidding? Okay, Swish Worsted from Knit Picks, and it is the color Garnet Heather. And I love heathered colors anyway. I just think they have such dimension to them. And it's a stockinette. Fat Squirrel, Amy Beth, she did a pattern on hers, so you could certainly adapt a pattern. And probably just look at her project page and she would tell you what pattern she used. But I just wanted stockinette because I didn't want to have to think on this sweater. It is funny though. I am finding with doing when I did actually had to rip back one row of the lace pattern on the Whispering Pine shawl, but I decided I'm going to force myself to learn how to read charts.
What?
It's a very simple chart, and so that was a good place to start. But you know how it is, sometimes the first time you attempt something, you don't always get it.
Yes.
And I'm, probably another year down the road trying charts again. I'm going, it's making a lot more sense now.
That's good.
I might become a lace knitter. What? 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 What?
Such a gorgeous face I just made. Did you see that?
I didn't. What was that? Can we freeze on that?
No, please don't.
So anyway, I decided I didn't want to add one to this project. That's a long story for a stockinette cover-up. But I love it, and I love knitting with this yarn. I'm not so in love with these. I got two size 6 needles to try. This is Knitter's Pride Cubics, and the other one was the wooden needle. Is it Dreams or something? Knitter's Pride.
Cubics, those are the square ones, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They have, I don't know exactly if they call them cubics, but it's the Knitter's Pride version of a square needle. And with this particular yarn, they're not my favorite, but it's the only needle I had free. Yeah. But Knitter's Pride makes such affordable needles. And so I thought, let's just try it and see. But I probably will not be buying another square needle But I do love the wooden ones.
Oh, really?
And I'm using that one for...
Is that for your Whispering Pines?
Yes, that's on my Whispering Pines. Yeah. And that one, those needles I love. They're not as slippery for when you're using a small yarn. You know how sometimes if you're doing a large project and you've got a lot of needles and you don't want something where the needles the stitches can so easily slide off.
Right.
But what I did, back to Mama Vertebrae.
Yeah.
You're knitting it top down, and I decided after I got a couple rows into it that I need a little more chestal coverage. That's a term, I'm sure.
We're making it one.
Can I just say?
What?
I felt so excited.
Why?
Because Amy Beth answered my question on her podcast.
Score!
I know.
That almost makes you a celebrity.
And you know what she did?
What?
She had a cheer that she did for me.
Seriously?
Because I asked her, if she thought, because she is a fluffy girl too.
Yes.
And it looked beautiful on her. And she's not, small.
No.
In certain chestal areas.
Yes.
And so I was questioning her whether or not she thinks it emphasizes too much the chestal area.
Yeah. Does it make it pop, or does it kind of, help to... I don't know, camouflage a little bit.
Right. And so she did, I think it's just this last week's episode, she did a whole thing on my question.
Wow.
First of all, she thinks it's becoming on a lot of people, so you could try it, but she says if you're shy and trying to camouflage it, it's probably not the pattern for you.
Yeah.
But she says if you've got, she used the B word, I don't know if people are going to be offended, so I'm not going to use it, but...
If you have mammary glands,
if you have chestal benefits, then she said, just think to yourself, just wear it, be proud, and think to yourself, people like them. And she was doing this whole Amy Beth, I love you.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I'll be able to wear this without thinking about her special cheer.
That is so funny.
I love it. I love her. And it's probably not a word I would use just out and about, but among girls, among friends like you are, I probably would, but I don't want to offend you, so I won't say it, but it was really cute.
How awesome.
Yeah, so I'm famous, or I don't know, my mammary glands are famous. Yeah. She didn't use my name. She was being nice to me, but anyway.
That is really
funny.
I'm
just, all that to say I'm adding some stitches so that there's just instead of stopping closer to the armpit, it's going to come over more.
All right.
I'm all about camouflage.
Good to know. Good to know. All right. Well, I don't really have a whole lot of... It's been...
party time at your house. You've been getting ready for parties.
It's been party time.
And Tuesday, you had car repairs and all sorts of things, didn't you?
Yeah, and then Tuesday we were in St. Louis for Owen's chemo, so that's a whole day gone because we leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then it's a 4.5 hour drive each way, and then we're there for several hours while he gets his infusions and gets examined by the doctors.
And you haven't figured out how to knit and dry yet, have you?
I have not. But so I lose a day of knitting whenever I take him up there. And, that's not a huge deal, but it's just this week has conspired against me in the knitting department. So I'll show you, this is what I've mostly been knitting on. These are Brian's Christmas socks.
I love them.
I haven't showed them to you in a while, but I started from the cuff down, and this is a Fish Lips Kiss heel. And this is where I was at. Actually, really, that's not true because I was about 12 rows. This is running into "Are you kidding me?" But that's okay. I was 12 rows higher than this when I picked them up, and I looked, and I was like, "Oh, I split a stitch, and I split it really badly." And not only did I split that stitch, but I knitted into both halves of the stitch.
Oh no.
And I believe this is a 4-ply yarn. It's just trucking it's just Trucking XXL, which is a 4-ply sock weight yarn. But I had split it in a way that there was like 1 ply was 1 stitch, and then the other 3 plies were the other, and it was on the foot of the sock, like on the bottom of the foot of the sock. And so I was scared that it was going to end up getting a hole like right away. So I had to rip out, hate that, and then pick up the stitches again and re-knit. So really, I've knit more than this. Well, I should have been farther along, but that's okay. I'm just going to be starting toe decreases very soon, so that'll be good. And then I'll probably cast on the next sock.
Now, can I say, you also, if you didn't care about your extra stitches along that time, you could have just taken some yarn and reinforced that area to begin with.
Yeah.
And woven the ends in. And, but it might have bothered your foot, too.
Absolutely. And, you know, the thing is, I probably would have done that for myself because I know that it wouldn't have bothered me so much.
Right.
But not knowing... you know, how sensitive Brian's feet would be to that, I wouldn't really want to do that for somebody else.
You want him to be able to enjoy his gift.
Right. Exactly. And I want to be able to give it to him, you know, with full confidence that it's something that he's going to be able to use and not...
I think he'll love them.
I think so. These are kind of his colors.
They're happy, but they are not, like, clown happy.
Yeah, you're right. They're not clown happy. I mean, they're really nice colors, and, you know, it's not like a terribly... the green does get a little bit vibrant, like, you know, you can see here, you know, you've got some vibrant green colors, but, you know, he has other socks that have, you know, more color to them, and he still enjoys wearing them.
My husband's pretty conservative, so I don't think he would go for that.
No.
But I love when you get that surprise of a guy just wearing a regular outfit and then he's got really fun socks.
I know.
I think that's great. It shows great personality.
It does. And you know, last year was like the Christmas of socks for Brian. He got like 3 pairs of hand-knitted socks, and then the kids wanted to buy him dress socks for work. And of course, you know, when it's a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old, they're going to pick the most outrageous socks that they can find at Target. So, you know, he ended up with, like, you know, some pretty outlandish socks. And that's okay. You know, he was so sweet when he received them. But I felt bad because it was like he had, like, well, let's just say his sock drawer is very well stocked now. So he'll only be getting 1 pair of socks from me this Christmas, and that's okay. The other thing that I've worked a little bit on in my beautiful Amy Butler bag that I love.
I do too.
Yes. Is I've put a little bit of work into the flax cardigan for Owen. So I've really only just done like maybe 2 inches. It's really not that exciting. Your Elizabeth cardigan and the flax cardigan are kind of at that same stage where it's like, is this ever going to end?
I think the important thing for me is I've got to keep it out though.
Yes.
Because I think it'd be so easy to tuck it away and then go, I forgot all about that.
Yes.
So it's like, I feel like, here's what I would like in a perfect world. I would like to do you know, at Hobby Lobby you can get ironwork things, and they have like hooks that people would use for coats or whatever that you can put on the wall. I would love to have a pretty coat bracket that I can hang my project bags from in a you know, a discreet place, like right in the living room or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or about my bed.
That makes sense.
And have my project bags of active projects I'm working on hanging on it. And if I get a lot more project bags and projects going, you could just keep adding to the rows of hooks.
I love it.
But wouldn't that be nice though? I mean, especially when you've got pretty project bags. Yeah, who wouldn't want to look at them?
Like attaching myself to your needle. That was good. I do have to keep this out. Like, this is right by my favorite chair that I sit in. And this is what I take to Peepa's house to knit on, because she really likes to talk, and you know, I'm listening and basically kind of stuck in the chair. Or, you know, when we go to the salon, I'll take this one along. because I know that I'll get some dedicated time to it. But
Mama's a great storyteller.
She is.
And she loves it.
Yes. She loves to tell the stories of her childhood growing up, stories of her mom and dad. But I've been helping Pipa for since April of last year. So I've pretty much heard most of the stories.
They are changing now, though.
They are.
Makes it more exciting.
It does.
I wonder what's going to happen this time.
I know. That's, the dementia. But anyways, but she likes it when I knit, which is kind of interesting. Her mom used to sew when she was telling stories, and so I think seeing someone do handwork or knitting, she really likes it. She'll ask me if I don't get it out right away, and when I come and join her, she'll be like, "Now where is your knitting? Or did you bring your knitting along?" And so that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
I think it's a calming thing to her, and it is for me too. So yeah, I am going to try this on Owen after I get probably another inch or two done on it, just to see how it's doing, and then hopefully I can start some ribbing, because ribbing would be exciting at this point. I'll show you the cardigan, or not the cardigan, the sweater, but here it is right now. And
it's more of a Kelly green than showing right now.
It's kind of, it feels like a forest green. Kelly green is more bright to me.
Oh, okay. Well, forest green, but it's not as gray as what you're seeing.
No, it's not gray at all.
Try folding it over your arm like I did. I wonder if that'll give them a good impression of the color. Look back further. Like kind of more like in here.
Yeah. That's really more the color, like in the kind of more in the shadowed areas. But yeah, so, and then after that will be sleeves. So, yay. But, now that it's starting to get cooler, I'm feeling, more like I want to get this done.
If he leaves this at school and loses it,
I will have to.
Can I suggest dots of super glue to keep it on him so it doesn't get left behind?
Exactly. I'm going to have to Velcro it on him in some way. I don't know. We'll see. So that's what I've been working on.
Yay.
Mom, have you been spinning this week?
I did. I spun the fiber for the Whispering Pines cardigan. And I want to give a shout out to Liz from Whirlwind Ranch. She is getting her store, online store, up and running. I mean, like, it is like this close.
That's exciting.
And you will be able to get her fiber. And I have to say, I would say if you're new to processing fiber, first, like, enjoy the roving that this woman makes.
Okay.
Well, she doesn't personally make it, but she makes sure it's made properly.
Yes.
Because it is heavenly to spin, so that you have something to judge by. And then go ahead and purchase a fleece from her, or a whatever you call the alpaca fiber off the animal, because it's quite fun to also process it yourself. But if you know what a really well-processed fleece is like, it's a good place to start. I think it's always nice to know what good quality is.
Yes.
I was thinking, same thing applied when I was learning how to do toll painting. We used to love everything. Ruthie Ann and I would go shopping at crafts, like those craft fairs.
Yeah, like little bazaar things.
Oh, yeah. And we would love everything. We'd be like, oh, it's so adorable. And then we started learning about toll painting ourselves.
Yeah.
And we started seeing examples, and we were like, oh, my goodness. Well, that wasn't a very good example at all. It's like going to a museum and seeing fine art. Your eye gets educated. And it's the same way with knitting also.
Absolutely.
Once you are more experienced in knitting, you can recognize someone who's a beginner, where when you're a beginner, if you can just make a stitch that doesn't fall off, you're excited.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Liz Mitchko is her name. She also does amazing weaving.
Alpaca is her game. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Cheers. It's the trend now, cheering about things.
Yeah. I like it. Let's do it more.
She also does wonderful weaving. She showed a picture on Facebook of a weaving that someone was, it was a scarf, a big, more like a wrap. And it was so beautiful. It wasn't just your standard weave, but it just had these undulating color strips in it, and it was beautiful. And so she will have, beautiful weaving things in her store, I'm sure. If she doesn't, Liz, you should, because it's amazing. Yeah. And she's doing dyeing now. She's dyeing fiber, yarn, and roving too, I think. I will be able to see soon, because Fiber Days, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go.
When is it?
Soon. In September.
Oh.
Look it up. It's really just
that is really soon.
Yeah. It's like coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if I can't get there, I will just have to, I don't know. I'll find her. I'll drive there. Drive to her house if I have to and knock on her door. She actually has a store at her farm.
She does?
But please call first, because she doesn't just sit there. She's taking care of animals.
Yeah, she's got things to do, people.
Yeah, she'll come out of the pasture, or whatever you call the fields, to show you around, and she's so fun. You will love her. She's not like the person that you'll walk in and feel really uncomfortable. You'll want to be her best friend, because she is just that kind of warm and wonderful. So anyway, that's my big plug. Liz Mitchko, Whirlwind Ranch. And if she's not up right now, I think it's in the next couple of weeks, so please don't forget her, because you need to explore the alpaca. Just because Brianne has princess skin doesn't mean that you do. And it's actually she has some baby alpaca. I think if you had baby alpaca on your skin, you would not be saying a word. You would be like in love with it, wanting to marry it.
But perhaps. Who knows? Well, we already did Are You Kidding Me? I took care of that. You had no Are You Kidding Me's, except for you had to rip back because of your stitch count.
Yeah.
But that wasn't too terrible.
No, that was like part of a row before I realized I was really off.
You lived through it?
Yeah.
She lived to tell the tale.
Yeah.
And you gilded the lily, didn't you?
I got the garnet yarn for my Mama vertebrae.
So beautiful. Makes me want to cast on a sweater with it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, Swish Worsted, they have a lot of really beautiful colors.
They do.
They have one called Squirrel that's kind of a lighter version of this that I would love to do a sweater into.
Yes.
But, I really should finish the ones I started.
That's probably a good idea. Yes. What about It's a Good Thing?
I think I was reading Your Good Thing, and I love Your Good Thing. I actually have a good thing I was going to bring, but I'll bring it next time.
Okay.
The audiobooks are our friend. So, Brianne, tell us about that.
So, audiobooks. We all know about podcasts because you're watching one. And maybe you prefer video podcasts to the more, the audio ones. But I think that audio podcasts definitely have their place. I don't think one is better than the other at all. And in fact, it wasn't until probably in the last 2 years that I started watching video podcasts. And so, I have quite a few audio podcasts that I listen to and I love. But I also really enjoy audiobooks. And I started listening to audiobooks quite a while ago.
Yeah, I remember when you first told me about it.
Yeah.
And when you finally convinced me to get on the audiobook train. And
yes.
It was like a runaway train the minute I discovered
it really was.
How wonderful they are.
But does that surprise you? No, because whatever it is that Mom finds to do next, she does it with gusto.
52 million books later. I love these.
That's right.
I have the... what is that big library? Library of Congress? That's not it. Whatever the big library is. I have that now.
I don't know what she's referencing, but there you go.
There's got to be a big library somewhere.
There is. There are very big libraries, and not our library.
No.
But anyways, so audiobooks are fantastic. And in fact, I had no audio podcast to listen to on for my trip up to St. Louis on Tuesday, and so I had books to listen to. And right now I'm listening through the most current Outlander series book, which is called Written in My Heart's Own Blood. But I love that I can do things while I'm getting to read a book or listen to a book.
Do you know how many Outlander patterns and knit-alongs there are going right now?
So many.
You need to do one while you're listening to the Outlander book.
I know. And if I didn't have other pressing things to knit on right now, I totally would. And totally off subject. I feel like a lot of my projects are kind of more a little bit long term, like, you know, just because my knitting time is not as much right now in this current season that I'm in. But I really want to cast on like a worsted weight cowl, or you know, something that's not going to take me you know, a month and a half to finish.
You know, and that is partly why I love like the dishcloth patterns and stuff too, because when I get tired of doing something, I can whip out a dishcloth in a day or two if I have limited time.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly in an evening you could. Yeah. But you have a finished object and you can move on and feel like you had a break.
I'm not looking for like instant gratification. Like, I'm not going to knit. I don't really care for anything much heavier than worsted weight, but like, I'm not looking for like, you know, a chunky weight sweater, you know, that I can finish in an hour and a half, because, you know, I'm not ever going to wear it. But, you know, I just want something a little bit more, I don't know, something that's not going to take me a long time to finish. And that I can feel like I can make really good progress on.
Well, cowls and hats definitely suit that.
All right, so that's totally off subject. But audiobooks.
Well, okay, while you get your brain back where you were, I love audiobooks because now I'm starting the Whispering Pines, the lace part. I have to have my Knit Companion book on my iPad, my app, on the iPad open, which means I can't watch something. Right. So audio books are fantastic for that, because it still keeps me engaged, but I can see what I'm doing on my pattern. Yes.
I love audiobooks. When I'm doing tasks around the house that I don't care about, I don't care for, I should say, like laundry is pretty much the bane of my existence, because with 3 kids who, you know, insist on wearing clothes like every single day, and pajamas, what the heck, and bedding and towels and you know everything. You know, people,
they know.
Yes, you know, you've experienced laundry before, but you know, I really dislike the chore of laundry, and so I get to listen to my audiobooks while I do laundry.
It's a good reward, isn't it, for doing a hard job?
It is. And I you know, I try to set aside time to listen to, you know, whatever book it is that I'm into, and right now I'm in a really good place in my audiobook, and so I'm super excited to finish that up. And so
Yay.
we love audiobooks. They are awesome, and we prefer the Audible app, which is AUDIBLE. There are several. I know Craftlit is sponsored by Audible, I believe, and so we are not. Audible, if you want to sponsor us, feel free.
I think you probably have to apply for those kinds of things. They don't just magically find you.
Yeah, you're probably right. Although we're pretty awesome, so they could find us.
Such confidence.
I love that. Yeah. So anyways, that's what we're doing. Let's talk about our contest, shall we?
I have to say. Yeah. This whole contest thing, you know, first with the hometowns. Yes. I loved that. Yes. And now seeing all of your beautiful faces. I have been so inspired. And I love that people who wear makeup felt brave enough to go without it. Yes. And those of you that just are naturally beautiful and you can...
and fresh-faced all the time.
Fresh-faced all the time. I love that you are doing that and not feeling like you got to cover up your natural beauty. And, you know, we're not against makeup.
No, I wear makeup pretty much just every day.
Yeah, I don't. But I was thinking, though, when I looked at my fresh-faced self, I'm like, it doesn't really look a whole lot different. I gotta wear more makeup? I don't know. But, you know, I just was really inspired, and I loved what people wrote about if you're not feeling good about yourself and what they do to get through their tornadoes. Yes. Oh, my goodness. You people are so inspiring. Yes. And, you know, I love that, you know, they are entering in on the contest, but I love that they are grasping the heart of it. Right. And really just providing useful information about what they do to get through. I mean, everybody's got stuff to get through at some point in their life.
And you know, when we were going through Owen's diagnosis, and we were in the hospital for 17 days, and it was crazy, and lots of hurry up and wait. You know, we're going to do this test, and then you have to wait for results, and that was maddening. You know, we made lists of things to do. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You know, we're like, okay, we're going to walk over to Barnes Jewish Hospital, which has this amazingly huge, fantastic gift shop, and we're just going to look through the things, you know, and just spend a little time there. And then they had a really good coffee shop there, and you know, we're gonna get some coffee, or go to the garden that's on the 8th floor, and you know, spend some time there, and
finding some joy along the way. You can't help the fact that you're being hit by a tornado.
No, you really can't.
But you can not just keep yourself in such a dark place, but you have to find ways to bring light into your life. And so many people were finding faith, being such a great help to them, their family, their friends. I mean, there's just so many great ideas of how people deal.
Yes. You can't control your tornadoes all the time, but you can control your attitude with which you go through those tornadoes.
Yes.
And I think that's especially what we've learned, you know, through everything that's happened over the last few years, you know, is, you know, you can have a good attitude, and you know, that affects the way you look at it, or you can have a really sucky attitude and bring other people down with you. Yeah. Then who wants to do that? You know, especially to your loved ones or your friends. You know, so we just really, I love hearing people talk about that, you know, and basically, you know, hearing that that's kind of their attitude too, and they're trying to cope with things and the way that they cope with them.
And I do want to say, I think it's okay to have time to grieve.
Of course.
If you've had a big loss of some sort, you don't just paint a happy face on and say, oh, it didn't affect me.
No.
I'm fine, you know. I'm so strong. But I think you allow yourself the chance to feel the loss.
Yes.
To grieve what has changed in your life.
Of course.
And then to begin the process of big deep breath. Okay, now what do we do? What's our next step? What can I be hopeful about now?
Right.
And I think you can find that in any situation you're in, but not necessarily the instant you get the bad news. And I think that's sometimes where people drive themselves into a desperate place, because they feel like, well, I should be over this by now. I should be feeling better, or whatever. Give yourself time to process what is going on in your life, and then start finding joy.
Yes.
And I don't know, did anybody mention knitting?
Yes, people have.
Okay, good, because I was going to say that, you know, it doesn't solve anything.
Right.
Knit doesn't solve anything, but it sure feels like I can't have control over anything else right now, but I can make something beautiful.
Can I say something slightly controversial?
Oh no.
So,
I can edit you out if I don't like it.
Okay. It's not bad.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes when you're in tornadoes and you have a lot of tornadoes all at once, and it's very overwhelming, and you find yourself having a particularly difficult time getting through them.
Yes.
Sometimes you need help. Yeah. And sometimes you need help in the form of therapists, and sometimes you need in the help of pharmacology.
Yeah.
And I would be lying if I said that I have not utilized both of those. And so...
Me too.
Yeah. And so, you know what? That's okay too.
It is.
And...
Yeah, if your depression lingers,
yes.
if you're dealing with your grief lingers,
yes.
And you're finding it hard to get up in the morning, and
you're losing interest in the things that you love, like knitting or whatever.
Sleeping all the time, not sleeping. There's a lot of mileposts that you can Google about.
Right.
But do not feel like you're somehow deficient because you need to reach out for help.
No.
And if you're not sure, ask a friend, ask your doctor.
Yeah.
There are tests you can take online that give you an indicator of if you might need more help than what you are finding.
Absolutely.
So your brain chemistry can change.
Definitely.
When you have had a series of crises. And, you know, people who come home from, this is really an extreme example, but coming home from war, we all know that the men who have experienced the ravages of war come home and they need help sometimes finding their footing when and they need more than just someone saying, welcome home, I'm glad this is all over, because sometimes even though an event is over, it's not over in your head.
And you know, a less extreme example of that was at one point Owen was incredibly sick and we were not given any hope for his survival, and was in the ICU and on a ventilator and having seizures, and they were afraid he was going to go into sepsis, and it was a very dire time in our lives, and we watched him having to be ventilated because of seizures, and he stopped breathing and his heart stopped, and watching all that, and my therapist actually diagnosed me with PTSD after, you know, several months after that happened, because I was reliving it in my dreams, and, you know, at random times it would, you know, flash up, and, you know, it doesn't have to be something as, you know, huge as war. Sometimes little things, you know, other things can cause issues too. So,
and the one last tip, of course, because I always have to have the last word apparently, but the good place to start whenever you're going through a tough time is finding a safe person that you will talk with.
Yes.
And start sharing your feelings. Stuffing them down doesn't help.
No.
It just compounds the problem. So if you're at the beginning of a crisis, find someone who's safe that you can share how you're really feeling and be really honest with. Yeah. And you will find that you may be able to get by. You don't need extra interventions.
Yeah.
But if you do, there's no shame in that. We don't fault people for needing medicine for heart.
Right.
Or if they have diabetes.
Right.
And our brains are a part of our body, just like everything else. And sometimes our brains get sick, and sometimes they need scripture, sometimes they need a good friend, sometimes they need medicine, sometimes they need counseling, sometimes they need a break, whatever.
Right.
So, and that's okay. It's just a part of our body.
It is. If you haven't looked at our Fresh Face giveaway thread on Ravelry to see what everyone else has used to help get through their tornadoes, I'd recommend that you do that, because it's really wonderful, and I love hearing people be encouraging of others.
Is the contest over?
No, it ends tomorrow. The day that this will come out is the last day, and I will end up closing the thread when I go to bed, so whatever time that is, I don't know.
But you know, if you see this too late and you want to still post your fresh face, you can do it on the episode thread. This episode thread, go ahead and post your picture and post how you get through, and you won't be eligible for a prize, but you'll be a really great person.
Absolutely, and we'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh, let me show what we're actually giving away. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. I found it. We are giving away this skein of Freshwater Pearls yarn, which is so gorgeous. I love this color. It's beautiful. Yeah. It would make a beautiful shawl. It would make a beautiful pair of socks. And it's so soft, and I love the twist on it. And
it has such a lovely kind of watercolory effect on it.
It does.
I think it's going to be gorgeous knit up.
It is. It is so pretty. And it's the wine tasting colorway and 460 yards. And you also get this bag from the Sampler Girl.
We love her.
We do. And it says, keep calm and knit on. And I love those very long straight needles that she has.
Those are some major needles.
She is knitting like crazy. So anyways, we just wanted to show you that.
You know what?
What?
I have to say, something's been bugging me all morning.
What?
Because I was thinking about, there's an old saying, and I cannot for the life of me think of what it is, but it has to do with trying to, you know, kind of make over your face thing, but it's, well, not necessarily your face, but something like turning a sow's purse into a cow's ear, or there's something about like turning something that's not beautiful into something wonderful. What is that saying?
I don't know.
There's your homework.
Do you know what it is? Let us know.
There's some like old-fashioned saying, a sow's ear into a silk purse, maybe.
I don't know.
But anyway, that's kind of the concept of the fresh face contest, of not about your face, but about taking the things that are not beautiful in life and turning them into something that you can benefit from.
Yeah.
You know, that the experiences that helped you learn the lessons that you've been sharing, now you can pass them along.
Absolutely.
To someone else and make them help make their life easier.
Yeah.
You know, a benefit coming from it. And that's
Absolutely.
a neat thing.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No postcards from the Ozarks this week.
Sorry.
I'll do them as I can, but this was not a good week for that. So just know that I will be doing one in an upcoming episode. But
we have an idea for one we think is going to be really fun.
Yeah. We got lots of ideas for them. It's just trying to get that time together to put it together in the way it should be.
Right. Mom, thanks for doing this episode with me. I'm glad that you're feeling better.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I do feel better.
Yay. Well, we're so glad you made it. If this was your first time watching, we really appreciate that you found us and that you took the time to see what this is all about. We're glad that you're here. And feel free to join our Ravelry group, which is the Knitworthy podcast.
Yes.
On Ravelry. And if this is not your first time coming and you have been with us for a long time, or for however many episodes you've watched, thank you for sticking with us. We're so happy. And, you know, we have met some really awesome people through the podcast, and we're really thrilled that you guys are enjoying it and that you guys like it. So thank you so much.
Yay.
And as always, we want you to remember that you are knitworthy.
Happy fall, y'all.
Bye. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41, verse 10. Y'all come back.